Hi, welcome to the podcast. Okay, so we go ahead and do the clappity clap.
Now
Okay.
we got all sorts of problems. You just really like the clapping thing, don't
I
you?
do. Do over.
Welcome.
Hello.
Here we are. We're back. It's late, and maybe we could do a little segment on procrastination.
Yes, we really
Super.
saved this to the very last. It's 10:37. I just got home from lashing all day.
Yes. You've had 3 or 4 days in a row of flashing all day. And we just got back from our trip to Disneyland, which is what we want to talk about primarily. We are doing podcast episode, I'm not even sure where we're at now.
I think we're number 5.
Are we number 5? And I guess going to the original joke of our 3 subscribers, 3 viewers, I think we've got 24
now.
subscribers.
Thank you.
So again, this is going to be our last episode. It's funny every time.
Every time you get me. Anywho.
So we just got back from Disneyland, as you are well aware.
Yes.
What a
Are you
great...
talking to me or to them?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay.
I think you're aware.
That's hard to say.
And we just wanted to talk about how that ties in with business, as we promised you, tying in our relationship, our marriage, and business, and how this all works together, or things that we think about and do. So I guess the maybe quick summary about what you liked best about the trip.
Gosh, so many things. I can tell you what I liked the least.
Okay, start there.
The least was this ride called Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was going to die. And I'm pretty sure the strange man next to me that I clinged on to, as well as your daughter, also thought I was going to die.
Yeah. And for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's the old Hollywood Tower of Terror, if you have been before. And all that's changed from what we understand is the skin on the outside, but you still fall
to your death.
To your death in an elevator inside in the dark.
In the dark. Oh my gosh.
Over and over again.
Over and over again. I screamed at the top of my lungs so much that I lost my voice for 2 days.
That's true. You did.
I did. But okay, so that would be the worst thing about the trip.
Yeah,
but
it
I
took you
would
a while to
say
recover.
the best thing about this particular trip is that I was able to unplug for the most part. And enjoy the time off.
Yeah.
Which has never happened for
Agreed.
me in the business world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got 10 days away, which we both were a little concerned about, quite honestly. And so I guess we should give a little shout out to Lynn.
Oh, Lynn, thank you.
She is just a blessing. And those of you that are clients have probably had an interaction or talked with Lynn. She's been helping us with scheduling and administrative stuff and has just been an absolute godsend on so many levels. So we just can't thank her enough for, I guess, going on this crazy journey with us.
She has to deal with the two of us at the same time.
I know, and she does so well.
And she likes it, I think.
I think
she might like us. But how could you not? We're funny.
We are funny. Yeah, and we sure like her. I mean, just appreciate her so much.
Her.
And maybe what we'll do is we'll bring her on.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, great idea.
So anyway, Lynn, if you haven't met her, she is just wonderful and just, again, such a blessing to us to be able to help and really made or allowed us to have that trip and not have to worry about so many things that would have been stressful. So just thankful for that. And I agree that, yeah, we were able to disconnect and just really enjoy the time, which was actually a pleasant surprise to me.
What was your favorite part?
Oh, so many favorites. So I think my most favorite.
Just one.
So my most favorite was your first day walking up to Disneyland and not having ever been there.
And I cried.
You did cry. And just to see the happiness on your face to finally have that experience, and just, it's hard to describe, but to be able to be there for that and help get you there too, that was just really special to be able to be part of that.
So sweet.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you did all the planning.
I did a little
I did
planning.
nothing. I just I kind of paid for half of it.
Oh, for sure.
I showed up.
Yeah. Well, and a good segue to talking about the business. So
yes.
I know we've talked about, we work hard so we can do a lot of things in our life that we want to and that we enjoy. And this was really a great example of why we work so hard these 7 days a week. Really, anytime that we're awake or our feet are on the floor, we're working in some capacity. And I don't say that as a negative thing. I think that's really been, a drive and a motivation for us to be able to accomplish some things and to see what we're able to continue to do with this business.
And to touch on that a little bit, I think we do things differently than most people. I think that you can have a business and be an entrepreneur and not work 7 days a week.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
13-hour days, which is a lot. But I think that we just want to get to where our goals are quicker. So you don't have to work seven days a week.
Well, I think, and that's probably a whole series, because I think that is debatable, and I'm not saying I disagree with you.
Do you want to fight on podcasts?
I don't. Or off the podcast either.
Me neither.
But I think anyone who's achieved real success, financial success, or built an empire would say that, you really, it's a decade of you don't have a life other than your business. And I'm not saying that we do that or that we even prescribe that. So I think it depends on what your goal is. And I think you're absolutely right. How much you want to work and effort you put into it really will translate into your success or how fast you achieve that level of success. Mm-hmm. And I think that is absolutely different for everybody, and that is fine.
That is fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Let's touch on that though. Let's go rewind a little bit about being an entrepreneur, right? And being your own boss, creating your own wealth. Mm-hmm. Financial stability, your own hours. Again, I could not work 7 days a week. That would be my decision. Mm-hmm. But having, being an entrepreneur and having your own business allows, if I didn't have this business, I don't know if we would be able to do a 10-day vacation in Disneyland and do all the things that we did.
Oh, absolutely not. I that's a fact.
Yeah.
Your business and what we've accomplished to this point and what we're doing has allowed lots of opportunities. And beyond a vacation, and we'll kind of talk about family/business, that it's provided opportunities for you to go to trainings and be able to do a lot of different things that, we wouldn't have probably known about or had the resources to do. And that's, again, part of reinvesting, as we do always, in our business and ourselves, because that always gives you the best return. I don't care what anybody says, but investing in yourself is always the best investment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess my takeaway from the vacation, what I really learned and was confirmed, is that I am on the right path. I did make the right decision because, your normal 9-to-5 job has limits on, what you can do and when you can do it and how you do it.
Yeah, because usually you always have a boss or an owner or somebody that is still ultimately telling you, the guardrails that you have to stay between. And I agree with you. What I love about having our business is that, we get to make the mistakes. We get to make those choices and decisions on what we think is best based on what we're learning on a daily basis and how market trends change and all those really fun things that you like to think about.
Did you see me glaze over?
I did.
My eyes.
I started to lose you. I had to reel you back in. But we get to see those play out, good and bad, and be able to make those adjustments where, for the most part, when you have a job or you're working for somebody, you don't get that because they're the ones paying the bills and deciding, what direction they want you to go on their behalf.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. My boss, she's kind of strict, though.
She is.
She's a slave driver.
She works you.
She works me all day.
I don't even talk to her anymore. It scares me.
Me too. Oh, kidding. If you haven't figured out, I am my boss.
Yes.
I am the slave driver.
Yes.
For my own self.
Yes. And I have tried. And I've just given up and I just try to support it. And
I don't learn until my body has fully given out on me. Mm-hmm. Or I'm crying in the corner in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Which
we've been there.
Happens kind of frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not frequently anymore. I'm learning how to pull myself together.
Yeah. But back to Disneyland. Opportunity that did not have to pull yourself out of the fetal position.
No.
We actually were talking how fortunate and blessed. Nobody got irritated with each other. We didn't have any meltdowns with the kids. Everybody just had a great time and was
Nobody got sick.
Nobody got sick.
Nobody got sunburned.
Oh, yeah, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have bleeding feet and blisters.
Yeah, boy.
But it was fine.
Yeah, and we can maybe do a whole tutorial on how to do Disneyland and all that. But we did do California Adventure and Disneyland.
Universal Studios.
Universal and, of course, Legoland while we were down there.
Don't recommend it.
Yeah, it's a smaller kid place. But
or here's a tip. If you're going to do all of those, do Legoland first.
Maybe.
So that you don't have to go back there. And that's the starting thing. So you start on low expectations and then you work your way up to the good things. So if you do all the amazing things right out of the chute and then you go to Legoland, you're kind of like, meh. My opinion.
You were not a Legoland fan.
I wasn't.
Of course.
I was kind of cranky that day though.
Well, and that was probably when your feet were the worst of the whole
and
trip.
my legs. Yeah, you're right.
So it was kind of the perfect storm.
It was a perfect storm, but I still hold true to the my truth, that Legoland is not for me.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that is a
So next time you guys go, I'm just going to stay home.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'll just hang out at the pool with a cocktail.
Not a bad choice.
That's a great idea.
Not a bad choice. So we did hit the 4 different parks, and we can maybe go into more detail about the different parks. And there's a whole strategy, actually, if you've never been to any of those, on how to maximize, I guess, your visit or your park ticket entry fee. And I've been fortunate myself to go several times and understand how to do that.
I will say the funniest thing, though, there were a lot of funny things. But one of the funniest things was the first day. I felt like we were in Spain or wherever they have running of the bulls. Mm. Once the ropes dropped, everyone was running.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. And I was laughing what is happening? Is this really going on? This poor little sweet little girl dropped her stuffed animal on the ground and let go of her mom's hand. And it got lost in the crowd and the mom is screaming and it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody was running to Cars Land, which was closed. And then they tried to take a left to Spider-Man and then go on down to the Incredicoaster.
Yeah.
So
I am not a huge Star Wars person, but so impressed. I felt like I was legitimately in the Mandalorian show with that new Star Wars land.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It was. Yeah.
So if you're not a Star Wars fan and your husband wants to take you there, do it.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Cool.
Just an appreciation for the detail and how elaborate everything was. Yeah, I was impressed. And then the ride that the Star Wars ride, that's the
Rise of the Resistance.
Look
at me.
Yeah, that was an experience of not close to any other ride or anything I've ever been on. It was it was amazing.
I felt like I was actually in the spaceship. Is that the right word for it?
Well, it was like you were in a movie scene, like a clip in the movie.
But I'm looking out the spaceship into the space with these like spaceships fighting and shooting each other. And it was so realistic. It was incredible.
Yeah. And probably check out the Instagram over the next few weeks, and you'll see some different clips of some of the rides and things we went on. Were just phenomenal. Well
Harry
done.
Potter Land was fun. Is that what you call it, Harry Potter Land?
Sure. Yeah, at Universal, it was very impressive, and that ride, whatever the indoor one was, and you walk through the castle. Again, the detail was, just amazing.
Fun.
It was
fun.
The
churros were good. Oh my gosh, and the turkey leg.
Yeah, turkey leg's always a winner.
I felt a little barbaric standing in line, gnawing away on this big bone covered in meat. I actually was thinking, gosh, I hope there's not any vegetarians. Like they might be really disgusted.
Likely.
As all 5 of us are like passing it down.
Yeah, and there's no way to do that and not get a mess and sticky all over the place.
Or grease coming down your face. It's fine.
But at that point, you don't even care because you're just starving.
And you're so hot. It was so hot. It was 102 degrees on our last day in Disney.
It was hot.
How did we not get sunburnt or anyone gets heat stroke?
I don't know. It was
grace of God.
It was a blessing for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So
did anybody get any value out of our podcast today, do you think?
Well, if they're planning a Disneyland, they're probably, or maybe they're thinking like whether they were going to do it or not. They're like, maybe we should
get a kickback from Disneyland.
Yeah. To sponsor us, Disneyland. But what we wanted to talk about a little bit was the tie-in with the business, and I guess I'll talk about my part a little bit. Okay. And how we used it as a business expense, and how you can, and this, I'll just touch on it a little bit, but, and I made a post today too on my Instagram, but talking about, having a business and the opportunities that provides you to be able to keep more of your hard-earned money and be able to expense things. I think the thing that I thought about when I was thinking about this to talk about on the podcast was going to Disneyland. You have to think of it like you're going to, say, a photo shoot for your business, and that's just an example. Could be a conference. And if you have to go somewhere and you have to pay for a venue, or you rent a Lamborghini, right, to take pictures, or you have your photographer, or all the different expenses, you would totally think and consider that a business expense, and you get pictures and use them on social media or use them on your print media, and it's all legitimate expense. And that's how you have to think about creatively these trips and these opportunities, because when we go to Disneyland, so you've got airfare, you've got hotel, you've got meals, you've got a park ticket entry, and whether you go in for 5 minutes or you go in all day, whether you ride the rides or not, if you were to just go in and take pictures in front of the castle, you still got to pay $100 to get into the park, and you got to pay it for everybody else to get in. So all those things become expenses if you're using those, again, for marketing or however you want to do that. There's a lot of different ways to categorize and expense those things, but that's what the opportunities present themselves when you have a business, and thinking about how these things relate back to your business or how you utilize them for your business. So obviously Disneyland, we're going to talk about and have examples over, I'm sure, years that we use that. So it all ends up being something that translates back to our business. there's lots of different examples of how you can utilize your business and expense things, but that's just one of the many ways to be able to take nice trips and be able to not have to pay really dollar for dollar. So those are some of the things we just wanted to touch on about our trip. And again, that it was so enjoyable and so fun, and that we're able to actually break away thanks to Lynn.
Yes, thank you, Lynn.
And her is such a blessing. And so, but we will on future podcasts go into a little bit more of the business side, the accounting, and some of the things that you can do. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, and we're happy to, talk those things through.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So thanks for tuning in.
See you next week. Bye. YouTube. Do you hear that on your side? Do it on your side. Oh, I hear it. Okay.
Welcome back.
Hello.
So it's been too many restarts now.
Okay, so I don't even know. It's late.
It is late.
Okay. Take 5.